A master digital key can unlock millions of hotel rooms. Amazon Echoes could spy on users. Again, and a genealogy website DNA database was used to capture a killer. All that coming up now on ThreatWire. Greetings! I am Shannon Morse, and this is ThreatWire for May 1st, 2018. Your summary of the threats to our security, privacy, and internet freedom. Our Patreon is over at patreon.com/ThreatWire, and that is always the best way to support the show and will help us reach our next goal. So if you want access to exclusives, check out the Patreon link in the show notes below. And now, on to the news. Hackers at cybersecurity firm F-Secure were able to build a master key that can unlock thousands upon thousands of hotel room doors, reported on news sources on Wednesday. The master key, which is actually several technical components specifically used together for this task, can be swiped against doors using the Vision by VeeCard locking system, which apparently is currently used in 42,000 buildings in 166 countries. It leaves absolutely no trace of it being used, and it takes less than a minute. To build it, researchers Tomi Tuominen and Timo Hirvonen used an old electronic keycard from a Target building. They could simply use a keycard from a room that they had booked, or by copying the keycard of a nearby hotel guest or employee. Then they overwrote the data with a portable programming machine called a Proxmark 3, which cost just a few $100. F-Secure's custom software allowed for this to work, and the RFID reading and writing device is simply swiped at the target door, which can then match correctly in under a minute. They responsibly disclosed the vulnerability to Vision by VeeCard manufacturer ASSA ABLOY back in 2017, and they have worked together with them to create a solution. Software fixes have been available since February of this year, which randomizes the key space and allows for better generation of those keys. No proof has been made publicly of this hack happening in the wild, but according to the duo, they were first inspired when a colleague's laptop was stolen 15 years ago from a hotel room during a convention, where the thief left no evidence of forced entry. The researchers will not be releasing the code to allow hotels time to update each of their locks, which must be done physically at each and every lock. Now, to prevent this from happening while you are staying at a hotel, make sure to use the door chain while in your room and keep valuables in a safe or in a secure place so anyone entering your room will find nothing of value to steal. The Amazon Echo device has an open API which allows developers to make their own custom apps. This is what allows the device to work with other tech, such as Belkin Wemos, thermostats, Hue lights, Sonos speakers, and the list goes on and on. But the cybersecurity firm Checkmarx made a POC, or a proof of concept, that allows the Echo to indefinitely record audio data, so it's basically eavesdropping on conversations happening around it. Built in, the Echo wakes up when a trigger word is said, which I won't say here, to spare your own devices if you own one, and it will record for a short period until it goes back to sleep. The malicious app looks like a calculator, and it starts recording when a user says the wake word, start calculator, and the audio data is sent as a transcript to a third-party website. Now, in a video showing the app in use, the researcher shows that his speech is transcribed into a text doc, and the Echo device does not give any audible cues to tell a user that it is still recording. It does, though, still have its blue light on, which is a cue that it is still recording. Now, at the end of the video, the researcher just says the wake word, stop, to make the Echo stop recording, and the blue light goes off. In order for this to work, Echo queries a line of JavaScript code that says should end session, and if not triggered, it remains open to continue the conversation with the user. If it is supposed to end, then it stops recording and responding. Now, normally, Echo prompts the user with an audio cue, but in Checkmarx's version, the Echo does not make an audio reprompt, it just keeps on listening. Amazon has been notified of the vulnerability, and they have already fixed it by regularly scanning for skills that record for unusual lengths of time, and they kick them out of the official store. According to Threat Post, the problem has been fixed as of April 10th. This week's big story, chosen by patrons, is all about DNA. On Thursday, reports surfaced about investigators using DNA from an online genealogical service to track down and detain James D'Angelo, who was suspected of going on a crime spree of raping and killing between 1974 and 1986 in California. And 4 decades later, he was attributed for committing more than 50 crimes against women and 12 murders, and was known as the Golden State Killer killer or the East Area rapist. D'Angelo is 72 years old, and his DNA was matched to that of DNA at a crime scene. But how did investigators link the two? They used the crime scene DNA and compared it throughout the years to a couple of genealogy databases online, to which they finally found a match that was a distant relative of D'Angelo. These genealogy websites cater to users who simply want to know more about their ancestry. Sites like 23andMe, Ancestry DNA, and MyHeritage, they all do this kind of work with, for example, a simple saliva swab, and they can link you to interesting data about your family's past, your health, and a lot more. One service called GED Match stated on Friday that it was their database that helped solve the case. Investigators used that DNA, linked it to a male of about the same age and location, and tracked down D'Angelo. They then used abandoned DNA samples from D'Angelo to make the match. Abandoned DNA is on items that are thrown away or they're left in a public domain, such as a coffee cup that is just randomly thrown away in a trash can on the sidewalk. They then used 2 samples to evaluate against the crime scene DNA, and it matched. For much of the Sacramento area law enforcement, this was a cold case until the technology was available to continue on with the investigation. D'Angelo, who is a former police officer himself, was arrested on 2 counts of murder but faces 12 total counts. He may not face any trial for the rapes committed because the statute of limitations has expired. Of course, there are privacy concerns with a case such as this one. When a user decides to upload their DNA to a website for ancestry purposes, do they also consent to having their data used in crime investigations? GED Match says that yes, they do, according to their own policy on their website, and advises users to delete their data from the database or not upload it at all if you are concerned about it. But even if you don't upload your own data, a family member could, and since you share some chromosomes with your family members, they also hold a key to your privacy, and in the case of GED Match, no court order was needed to access the database. This could set a precedent for future cases and warrants to gain access to other sites that store databases of DNA evidence. Patrons, make sure to share your favorite news stories in the community tab or on Discord as well. Every Friday, I'll pick 3 or more top stories for a voting poll that patrons can vote on to be included in next week's show. Patrons also get access to an audio RSS feed, first looks at show topics, polls, discussions just for patrons, behind-the-scenes photos, and now that Discord server just for patrons at $2 a month and up. Join now and get access to all of these, and you get to help support the show. And the next goal covers the cost of our new equipment upgrades, like the new camera that I'm currently recording on, and it also opens up a live video Q&A just for patrons each month. A huge thanks to our Hush Puppy perk level patrons for sending in their awesome fur baby photos. I love them, so definitely keep them coming. Hit that subscribe button or share this episode on your favorite social media page as well. And with that, I'm Shanna Morris, and I will see you on the internet.